Are you a fresh graduate from a bootcamp, or probably you just want to get yourself started with taking interviews and you have no idea on how to go about some of those interviews? In this video, I'll be sharing with you some key tips that can help you land your first job either as a DevOps engineer or as a cloud engineer. So you want to watch this video to the end and gain the key tips. Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel DevOps with Mike. In this channel, I share a lot of resources related to DevOps, cloud computing, how you can transition into IT, how you can successfully learn DevOps and cloud computing, and of course, how you can easily get your job. So you want to check out my other videos related to interview preparation, related to cloud computing. And there's a lot of competition with respect to getting a particular job. So what are some of those tips that you can use to effectively get yourself ready for your first job? Now, landing a job is not easy currently, given that there are a lot of people who have the skill set, but being at the top requires a whole lot of different key areas which you must focus on. I'll share some of those key areas and then share with you the 5 tips which you need to get yourself your first job. Now, before even interviewing, the first thing which I'll recommend for you is to craft a compelling resume. A resume that clearly outlines your skill set. Assuming you've completed your bootcamp and you want to start taking interviews, have a compelling resume. A resume that covers your experience with cloud technologies, foundational services, services for storage, for compute, for databases, services that play around managing these cloud related resources, and equally having a lot of DevOps related services included in your resume, because with the combination of DevOps services and cloud services, you can easily be found recruitable by some companies. So first, craft a compelling resume. Through your resume, most recruiters won't start reaching out to you, probably on LinkedIn or on Indeed or on any other platform where we have recruiters looking out for talent. So just start by crafting a very good and a compelling resume. Now, the second thing which I recommend while getting started to take interviews is for you to have a good knowledge of some of the technical concepts. Interviews is all about sharing your technical experience, because most interviews, especially the technical interviews, last over an hour, and if you don't have an understanding on some of these key technical concepts, you might find it challenging to go through a 1-hour interview where you'll be asked a lot of some of these technical questions. So you want to spend so much time understanding the technical concepts with respect to a particular cloud technology, and some of these cloud technologies, once you understand the technical concepts, there's no way you are not going to be very excellent during your interview. So spend a lot of time understanding some of the cloud related technologies. Now, in addition to understanding these cloud technologies, you also want to build good social networks on LinkedIn, or you want to build a good profile on job search platforms like LinkedIn, Indeed, Dice, and equally you must have a good follow-up strategy after taking some of the interviews, because some people, after taking interviews, they do not send back feedback messages, they do not follow up with some of the recruiters to find out if the interview process was actually good. So you want to build a strategy that can easily help you to reach out to recruiters. Now, what are the key tips which I have in this video? By the way, if you're currently interviewing or you've not yet started interviewing, there's this platform which I recommend for you to get yourself familiar with interviews. You want to visit WonderPrep, www.wonderprep.com, a platform that shares a lot of resources related to interview preparation. They have a lot of phone call interview questions. They have a lot of tell me about yourself templates, resources that you can use to ease your next interview. So visit this platform and have a lot of understanding around interview preparation. Now, the 5 tips which I have for you in this video: first, before you start interviewing, research the company. You must have a good understanding of what the company does, what is the expected requirement from hiring someone like you, what you might be expected to do, because these companies, of course, will always leave out this information in the job description which they are giving out. So you want to have an understanding of the company. What is it they're targeting to do as a requirement? What you as a potential hire will be carrying out in that given role. So do a bit of research around the company that you'll be interviewing for, and with this research you can easily have first-hand information that will rightly position you in the interview steps. So first, research the company. Now, second, practice. Again, interviewing is a skill. Those who've mastered the skill of interviewing easily get some of these jobs. There's no way you can go for an interview without having adequate interview preparation experience, and you can only have this interview preparation experience by doing a lot of interview practice. That is why I still recommend you visiting Wonder Prep to have a lot of understanding on how to go about answering some of these interview questions. And you must know the tell me about yourself template, which is one very important component in every interview. Be it a phone call interview where a recruiter is reaching out to you to understand what you understand about particular subjects, or be it a technical interview question, you must answer the tell me about yourself question. So you want to do a lot of practice. So you're practicing to prepare yourself rightly for the interview. So do a lot of practice to get yourself ready for your next interview. Now, the third tip which I give is master and understand your resume, because you go for an interview, most often there are skill sets which some people have copied from the internet. You just see a resume on the internet, you copy that resume, or you copy some of the skill sets in that resume and you put in your resume without having an understanding of the technologies that are being listed in that resume. And when you get into the interview, the recruiter start asking you, I see you listed on your resume, you have experience with Azure DevOps. Can you explain to me how an Azure DevOps pipeline is being executed? I see you've listed on your resume you have experience with RDS. Explain to me what an RDS cluster is, or what are read replicas in RDS. And because you just copy that without having an understanding, you find yourself dumbfounded. So you must have an understanding of your resume. Each role that you're listing in your resume, you must understand why you're putting that role. Each service you're listing in your resume, you must understand why you're putting that service, and that way you have a resume that you can easily defend. So have a good mastery of your resume which you'll be uploading, and equally do not use multiple resumes. People use a lot of resumes, they've changed different companies on their resumes, they've changed different roles. And from a personal experience, I have a friend I've been working with, she's gone through all the interviewing stages. The recruiter, just at the point where she was about to get started working, they did a background check and realized that she had submitted multiple resumes for the same job. And because of having multiple resumes, she lost the job. So avoid having multiple resumes where you've changed your companies in different companies, or you've changed different timelines. That can easily land you in trouble. So master your resume. Now, the fourth tip I'll give is ask insightful questions. You don't just want to come to the interview without having the right question set, because they'll definitely always give you an opportunity to ask some questions with respect to the role which you're interviewing for. So ask the right questions. What do you think will be my next set of tasks implementing in this role? What is the most critical requirement you're looking for in hiring a talent like me? And so on. Ask insightful questions that can stimulate the recruiter to understand that this guy is goal-oriented, this guy is focused, this guy understands why we are having maybe a particular challenge as listed in a job description, and this guy is the man for the job. So ask insightful questions that will give you that positive edge over the competition. And lastly, stay positive and stay confident. You might go for an interview and they're asking you to talk about something which you have no idea about. That's fine. You must not necessarily answer the question that they've been asked, but you can answer the question with the experience you have. So if I'm being asked what is auto-scaling and I don't know auto-scaling, or I've not configured auto-scaling, I can describe another process that might be similar to auto-scaling. Just by doing that, I might demonstrate my confidence in implementing or in researching or in deploying solutions. And with that, some companies might be interested in working with guys that understand how processes occur or how the flow of different processes are. So you must be ready to stay confident and positive when taking your interviews, because just that confidence will tell a recruiter, will tell someone interviewing that now this guy is a guy who will come into an environment and will be able to research and do a lot of work in an environment. So stay positive when interviewing. So in summary, if you're interviewing and you want to land your first job, first, research the company, have a good understanding of the company you're applying for. Second, do a lot of practice interviews, practice. Third, have a good tell me about yourself template where you can easily and quickly share your experience. Fourth, you must master your resume. Master the resume which you'll be sharing and which you'll be talking about. And lastly, stay positive and stay confident. And with that, you will be able to effectively land yourself your first job. So let me know in the comment section which tip you found helpful, and if there's any other tip you want me to expand more in another video, leave that in the comment section. And if you're not yet subscribed, do it to hit the subscribe button so that every time I produce a lot more content like this, you will be the first to get to know more about some of this content. Until then, see you in my next video.